record. I just want to introduce Liz. She is one of Sam's coaches, and she is an Emerald coach, and she is just an amazing person, and she has tons of information about Shakeology that I can't wait for her to share tonight. She's going to tell us a little bit about her story, how she kind of got involved in things, and I am just going to send it over to her so that she can go ahead and get started. I think you can unmute yourself, right?
Yes. Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm Liz. I've been a Beachbody coach since March, and I just want to tell you a little bit about, my story and where I started. I was really active as a kid, and so I got away with eating whatever I really wanted to. And as I got older, I went to college, and I got less active. I ate more crap, and I started gaining weight, and I did like everybody else did. I mean, I was even an exercise science major, so I was learning about how to do these, even in school, eat less, exercise more, the food pyramid, all that kind of stuff. And usually just ended up, like a week or two, I would lose a ton of weight or not very much weight, and then put it all back on. And it was just kind of this yo-yo thing that, most of us have experienced. It wasn't until my boyfriend at the time had a health scare that, things, got serious, and it was like really time. I mean, we were 25, and it was time that, we really took our health seriously because, we weren't young anymore. We couldn't get away with things like we used to. And so I think that was in 2010, actually kind of started with doing Beachbody programs. I did Insanity, and I did P90X. And at one point I did think about being a Beachbody coach in 2011, and I decided not to. I decided to be a personal trainer. So that's what I've been doing for the last almost 4 years now is, working with people as a personal trainer. And throughout that process, I really figured out that, people, yes, they were inexperienced in the gym. Yes, they, needed advice on how to work out and, what kinds of things to do. But the biggest struggle people had was always nutrition and, other aspects of their life that, wasn't exercise related. So most of the time I was like half drill sergeant and half therapist. And so this past January, I decided to enroll in a health coach program, which is called the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And it's a year-long course, and I was really excited about it. They talk about all kinds of dietary theories, that everybody's, a bio individual, and, what diet works for me is not going to work for everybody else. And so you go over all these things, and, one thing that really came to my attention, I think it was in week 5. So early on in the course, we were learning about the raw food diet. And I don't know if you guys know David Wolf, but he's a pretty big guy in like raw foods and, really using food as medicine. And he's the spokesperson for NutriBullet. But he was doing a lecture, and he talked about all of these superfoods that you want to incorporate in your diet every single day. He talked about, how we're so used to having large quantities of food and getting so little nutrients from that large quantity of food. And so he started talking about, like reishi mushrooms and maca root. And, seriously, I think in his 50-minute lecture, he named off 15 of the ingredients that is in Shakeology. And, at the time, like I didn't know a ton about Shakeology. Sam and I had talked about me becoming a coach probably about 6 months prior to that. And, it just wasn't the right time for me. And then I was seeing her post about Shakeology and all these, superfoods that were in it. And so when he started naming off, and I looked at the ingredients of Shakeology, he started naming off literally all of the ingredients in Shakeology. I was like, holy cow. And so, that's really why I joined Beachbody, was for the Shakeology. I wanted to get my clients on Shakeology, even if I was training them at the gym. So maybe, I was training them in person, but I wanted my clients to have the best nutrition, the best superfood shake there was. And so that's why I got into Beachbody. So going into, we always talk about how, there's no artificial sweeteners, there's no artificial flavors, there's no soy, just kind of the surface of, what Shakeology offers, that it's a superfood shake. I just kind of want to give you guys a little bit more information so that when you're talking to people about Shakeology, you can, really get their attention with not just, just the basic things that we, end up telling, because, we're not really maybe familiar with all of those ingredients. So not only does it really give us, vitamins and minerals that the food, even the clean food that we eat, would give us, because our soil is lacking in those, vitamins and minerals. It helps, supplement those. And also it's really good with, it's got, the different superfoods from around the world. And, in this lecture that David Wolf was giving, Shakeology has 2 out of the 3 of the top, Chinese herbs that help with immune system and, fighting cancer and all these things that, maybe you don't know too much about. I'm just going to kind of go into some of the ingredients. So the reishi mushroom is one of the most studied mushrooms in the world to date. So there's a lot of information and studies going on with the reishi mushroom and how awesome it is for immune function. The maca that's in it is a vitality. So, we always talk about energy and, it makes you feel better. So, you're getting that from maca. It's also an aphrodisiac, in case you are curious. And the cacao is the number one, ingredient that people who live long, they have so much cacao in their diet that it's really linked to, longevity. So it's one of the most longevity ingredients that is out there. The ashwagandha is related to nerve growth, actually. So, there's a lot of links with helping with Parkinson's with that. And I don't even know how to say it, astragalus it's one of the top 3 herbs in the world that you can incorporate into your diet. So you're getting a lot of, and these are just some of the ones that he mentioned. The tulsi is the number 1 Chinese herb. So there's another one that's in the top 3 of herbs. Ginseng, the spirulina and the goji berries and the blueberries and all these other antioxidants that are in Shakeology, they're really helping to detoxify our body. And, we come into contact, even if you're eating such a clean diet, and I know that I was eating a pretty clean diet compared to most people. And I always felt like there was something missing. I was missing something in my diet always. I was either tired, I just, didn't feel like doing stuff, no energy, whatever. And just adding these simple things that are in Shakeology really improved my life, which is great. And one of my favorite ingredients that's in Shakeology is going to be the chlorella. And, you talk about the chlorophyll and how wheatgrass, and everybody's really into wheatgrass and, juicing wheatgrass because it's got such good health benefits. Well, chlorella has 40 times more chlorophyll than wheatgrass does. So it's one of those things that is so important because it helps just detoxify and improve all function in your body. No, stay down. And it's the number 1 superfood in the world. So the chlorella is the number 1 superfood in the world. And you know, that commercial where they're ringing up all these ingredients for Shakeology, and they talk about how expensive it is, and you know, they're such great things, and you really want to incorporate it into your diet, but they're expensive. Well, before I even got Shakeology, I actually bought some of the ingredients separately. So I, you know, went online, I ordered some ingredients just so that I could add into my own shake. And it really is expensive. I bought 3 ingredients. I bought raw cacao, I bought a spirulina and chlorella greens mix, and I bought reishi mushroom powder. And for those, just those 3 ingredients, for 1 month, it cost me $60. And I didn't even buy the maca powder because that was going to be another $30. So just for those 4 ingredients, I mean, that was going to be almost $100, which is, if you're a coach, I mean, that's what you're getting your Shakeology for. So, and you're getting a ton more, you know, superfoods and adaptogens and phytonutrients and antioxidants included into that Shakeology. So when you're talking to people about, you know, getting on Shakeology and they're really nervous about the price, and it is expensive, it's a priority thing. You kind of have to put that as a priority, add it into your grocery bill for the month, because, you know, you can use it as a meal replacement. But the benefits of what you're getting out of that, you know, $100 or $130, whatever you're going to be spending, if you're a coach or not, on Shakeology, it's so important to get across to them how much they're going to benefit from that. And it's not even just, you know, losing weight. I mean, these are cancer fighting ingredients and anti-aging and, you know, longevity and vitality and all these things that everybody wants. And it's so important to, you know, get across that, not just that there's no artificial sweeteners, no soy, and no artificial flavors. So going back to what I said about, you know, having such a we're so used to having this big quantity of food, getting such little nutrients, and Shakeology does the opposite of that. It's not a lot of quantity, but the quality of the nutrients that you're getting is, you can't even find that anywhere else. I mean, you can go out and buy them separately and it's going to cost you a lot of money. So just making sure that you're getting that across to people that you talk to about what they're going to get out of Shakeology is so important. And that was really fast. But does anybody have any questions for me?
I don't have a question.
Okay.
But I did want to add something just for anybody that's on the call listening, and of course I think this is being recorded. I have no colon. I've had my entire lower intestine removed. And I had ulcerative colitis. And so one of the things that I always share when I'm sharing it with people that I know that might have belly issues, and anybody who has irritable bowel disease or IBS or Crohn's or colitis, one of the things that I always like to share is that all those superfoods are, you know, already blended for you. So like you were saying, you know, basically your body doesn't have to try to break it down to absorb the nutrients, which is like super important for me because of, you know, my bowel. But also, so if you have anybody that you know in your life, people that have any of those issues, that's something that might be super important for them to know about Shakeology, is that it's, you know, it's already broken down for you. It's got everything in there for you. Your body doesn't have to work hard to absorb all of it. So I just wanted to share that too, kind of since we were chatting about that. Thank you for all your information. And I hope you have notes that you're going to share, because, you know, I was writing pretty fast, but ashwagandha takes a little while. So, so yeah, I hope you're going to add those.
Yeah, I definitely will add some notes for everybody. Anybody else?
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing all of your information, because I knew we had kind of heard, our team heard a little bit of this beforehand, and I was like, you have to share with everybody, because I think a lot of times we, when we're talking about Shakeology, people think, and I know this happens to me all the time, they're like, well, I don't need a weight loss shake. And I'm like, it's not a weight loss shake. And you know, it's important to understand the ingredients if you can, and the things that she did share, but more share your experience with it. And that's what Liz does. And I just knew that if she could share a little bit more of what things do, because even I had no idea, you know, I'm like, oh, it's great. I use it. It, you know, give me some energy or whatever. But knowing a little bit more helps for sure. So thank you so much for sharing. And does anybody else have any questions? I guess I don't want to take over.
I do. I just want to share, Liz, thanks for sharing that, because I like you. I mean, a lot of people out there think it's just a protein shake. I've used protein shakes for years, and I have never used anything like Shakeology. I have a serious dehydration issue because of a hormonal imbalance. And I just went to the doctors last week for an IV, because I have to do IV therapy every 5 weeks and take an antidiuretic hormone. And for the first time, I've been on Shakeology about 3 months. For the first time, they were able to get that IV in the first time. And I said, that didn't even hurt. And she said, your veins look so good. And this was my doctor's wife, who's an RN there. She said, it must be the Shakeology. She said that to me. And I said, I'm telling you, it has changed my life. So it's honestly, I know that we have a data sheet on our back office about Shakeology, but I don't know if it actually lists out what each thing does, like you did tonight, like the nervous system. And so you putting up those, that data would help greatly when we talk to people. I just appreciate you sharing.
I think that's a really good
Thanks,
point.
Liz.
Oh, you're welcome. I will definitely put up a list of stuff and what each ingredient does, and, you know, kind of where it's related. But, you know, with the protein shake thing, that was one thing that everybody always asked me, you know, like being a trainer, like, what protein do you use? And, you know, I never could like give them, like, I never wanted to tell them like, I use this protein, because they were never great. Like, there was always something wrong with them. Like, they were hormone-free whey, but, you know, it was like they had soy lecithin in it or whatever, you know, I could never find one. Or it was like, you know, it was vegan and it was raw, but it tasted horrible. And, you know, just can't get over that. You know, a lot of people don't want to have protein shakes or whatever that tastes bad. And this is the best one that I've ever tasted. But this is the first time that people are like, hey, what protein do you use? I'm like, well, I don't really use a protein shake. I have like a superfood smoothie, you know, that I have. And it's the only time I've ever, you know, been able to confidently suggest a protein type thing to anybody. So, you know, it's super important to be able to have confidence in what you are giving people.
I had something I wanted to add. Liz, first off, you did amazing. Liz and I were roommates in college, if you guys didn't know. We had a lot of fun that year we lived together. So I had talked to her last summer about joining, and she just wasn't quite ready. She was getting ready to build her training business, and I was 100% supportive of her. Obviously, she's my good friend. And I just kind of sat back and, you know, watched her grow her training business. And she reached me one day and said that she's ready to talk more about coaching. Oh, can you guys hear me okay? Okay. Liz's angle on her business is very unique and something that we all know friends who are personal trainers. Liz also runs challenge groups, but she is also, running her personal training business. If you have friends who are personal trainers, ask them what type of protein shake do you suggest to your clients? And then ask them if, are you getting compensated at all for suggesting that? Ask them some like more detailed questions about the quality of it and things like that. And maybe there's a way you can help any of your friends who are personal trainers to be able to create some more supplemental income for themselves, and also to help their clients have a much better experience with protein powder. As a nutritional shake. So great job, Liz. I loved everything you had. I've got a whole bunch of notes here. And now I want to reach out to all my friends who I know are having like these issues, or, aunts and uncles and everybody. It's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all that.
I know that Shakeology has really improved my digestive system. The medicine that I'm taking for my depression has really kind of caused some issues with me internally. And the Shakeology is the only thing that has helped. And I religiously take it every day, and I absolutely love it. And I also know that one of my really good friends who just became a coach as well, she was concerned she might have Crohn's disease as well as possible other things going on. And as soon as she started taking the Shakeology, wasn't even a month later, she's like, I feel so much better. She's like, can't wait for my next doctor appointment because I'm going to, I feel so much better. I want to find out what they see, So I want to appreciate all of your help in explaining all of the ingredients and how it works. And it honestly is one of the, most simplest, best things that you can do for your body every single day. And I really appreciate you taking the time to help us out and understand it a little bit more. Thank you.
I think you're muted. Were you going to say something else?
I will make sure and type up a document, and I'll post it on the page so that everybody can kind of have that to look over, so that if you didn't get notes written down, that you guys will have all that information that I shared today.
Thank you so much for sharing, and I guess we'll close out the call now if nobody else has anything else to say or want to add. All right, well, everybody have a good Sunday, and we'll see you all on the boards.